Jagade for the ball. Jagade for the ball. Jagade for the ball. Jagade for the ball.
This season, we're going to explore the unknown sides and destinations of Spain.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9, English news as it should be.
Thanks very much for tuning in to Unmissable. I'm Nabila Jamal. Let me take you through our top news tonight. Our first story is menstrual leave. The court today has said against a PIL that asks for menstrual leave for women. Court says this could really hurt the career growth and chances of a woman. We're going to break down those details as to why the court believes that and if this indeed is true. Also on our top story tonight is the LPG and the fuel shortage. Is it really a crisis or is it just panic buying and hoarding? We're going to get our guests on board to see how much of it is reality. We have our ground reports right here on News 9. We're going to play that out for you. And our top story on day tonight is the crisis across the Middle East, what's happening in the Gulf at this point. Stay with us. I start with the headlines as always. Government urges citizens not to panic buy LPG. Officials ask consumers not to queue outside LPG distributors. Authorities say domestic LPG production has increased by 30% since March 5th, helping stabilize supplies. Ministry of External Affairs confirms 2 Indian nationals have been killed and 10 others injured in an attack in Sohar city in Oman. Iran to allow Indian flag tankers to transit the Strait of Hormuz, a conduit for 40% of the South Asian nation's crude imports. Iran's ambassador to India, Mohammad Fatali, has signaled that Indian vessels could receive safe passage through the Strait of Hormuz, describing India as a friend. Amid escalating war rhetoric, Donald Trump told leaders of the group of 7 in virtual meeting that Iran is about to surrender. US military confirms all 6 crew aboard US KC-135. In fact, those who are on board US KC-135 refueling aircraft that crashed in Iraq are all dead. Military says the cause of the crash is under investigation and ruled out any hostility or friendly fire. India to repatriate 183 crew members of the Iranian naval vessel Iris Lavan in Kochi. Even as the move sparked criticism on social media, the Board of Control for Cricket in India said it has no authority to intervene after Sunrisers Eastern Cape signed Pakistan spinner Abrar Ahmed in the 100. All right, well, women have been fighting for long for menstrual leave. Across the world, many countries have gone with it. India was mulling over it. And now, the Supreme Court of India, in fact, we know the top court of our country, the Supreme Court of India has refused to hear a petition that asked for a nationwide menstrual leave policy for women, students and employees. The court said today the demand may sound very reasonable, but turning it into a mandatory law could backfire on women itself. Let's tell you how. So a bench led by Justices Suryakant and Joymala Bakshi has said such a rule could actually hurt women's job prospects. Their concern, the court says, is employers now might start avoiding hiring women altogether if they are required to give extra paid leave. The judges also warned against portraying menstruation as something that makes women inferior or incapable at work. At the same time, many women say that periods can be extremely painful. Some suffer from severe cramps, fatigue, migraines, nausea, making it very difficult to work normally. Supporters of menstrual leave say it simply recognizes a biological reality and makes workplaces more humane. Some countries already doing it, like Japan, South Korea, Indonesia, Spain, already have menstrual leave policies in place. In India too, many states were mulling over it. In fact, places like Kerala, Bihar, Odisha have already introduced or currently are in discussion. Karnataka as well has discussed menstrual leave. But there is no national policy as yet. Supporters say a law would ensure that all women get the same protection. But critics argue it would reinforce the idea that women are weak workers. Some also fear that it could create resentment among male employees who may see this as partial or special treatment towards women. Employers also worry about practical issues, how to verify these leaves, possible misuse of it, and disruptions at work. Some experts say that the better solution here may be flexible work policies or gender-neutral sick leave. For now, the Supreme Court has not shut the issue completely. The court has asked the government to examine the matter and consult stakeholders, which leaves the country with a larger question. Is menstrual leave a step towards dignity and health rights for women, or could it unintentionally create new barriers at workplaces? A quick word from Brinda Adige, women's rights activist, Dr. Kiranpreet Kaur, global talent acquisition voice, and also Rahul Ishwar, who's an author and activist, a male voice that was necessary on this. Thanks very much, all of you, for joining us. Brinda, I start with you on women asking, in fact, a PIL has been filed by multiple organizations. Multiple organizations asked for it, a PIL that was formally filed before the Supreme Court. Supreme Court says you're not looking at the larger repercussions. Menstrual pain is a real health issue, we know, but according to court, it says workplaces will not treat women the way it should over time. They might kill their career growth. In fact, this would really backfire in a negative way. And that's something that the women and the people who filed the PIL should consider. So what's your view on this?
It is the same court that passed and ordered and agreed that right to life and dignity, Article 21, menstruation is not a weakness, it is a health reality. Now the same court, where is that learning? Where is that understanding? And equality does not mean women must endure pain to prove we are good or better than men. That is why we are talking about equity. When every family wants Vamsha Udhara, you want Vamsha Udhara free of cost. You are discriminating women, discriminatory hiring practices. You are putting the company's convenience and profit above women's health. More than half the population. So you want to profiteer from our pain, our discomfort. This is our biology. Now, if men can also take the same biology, why not? Please let them have their leaves. And why do you all the time talk about misuse? What is this misuse? Women go through certain pain during menstruation. Now, show me a woman who doesn't menstruate. Then I can tell you there is no pain. But don't talk about she's misusing the law. One leave once a month. What misuse? Is the company going to come down? What do you want to continuously place this burden of mistrust, distrust on women? The order that has been passed by the court is not just retrograde. It's sexist, misogynistic, and pathetically patriarchal. Certainly unacceptable because they have played to the galleries of the companies who are unwilling to treat women equally. They are making all of these excuses, which is a patriarchal excuse, and saying, women, we want you to carry all our burden and suffer the pain and come up to whatever it is. Already women are suffering with maternity leave. They don't get back that same position that they went away, or the position that they must get back in that seniority. Even that we are letting go and saying, chalo, it is okay. Then they are saying that, paternity leave, courts must agree to all of it. But here we are talking about women's biology is a reality. It's a health reality. It is not our weakness. Why would such so-called learned people assume this as weakness? Assume that we will not be hired. How dare you, the court, a constitutional guarantee under Article 21, are telling me that I must now suffer because of my biology. I don't think such people even understand what they are talking. Forget what my constitution. Equality has already been guaranteed to me. It's my sovereign right. Nobody has to give me. Equity is what we are asking you because of our biology. We can't tell we don't want this biology. If we could, we would have said that. But we can't say this is our biology. Accept it because it is for the better of our society, community, and families. And you cannot sit there in a position of power and authority and say companies will not hire you. That is why we want to bring the case to you. Otherwise, we would have gone and begged with companies, isn't it? You have taken the oath to uphold, protect, and safeguard constitutional guarantees in mother of democracies. And that's exactly what you should do. Repeal this retrograde order.
Let me bring in Rahul Ishwar, the other man, before I get to the other woman here, the man on the panel. Ishwar, do you believe that a menstrual leave will make it look like special treatment for women? What's your view as a man? If you didn't get that leave, a woman got a special leave, which is not sick leave, but it's dedicated to a menstrual leave. Sick leave then could be additional and add-on. I don't know how it works, how HR would outline it. Kiranpreet will tell us more. But from a man's perspective, your take on a menstrual leave for a woman?
I'm a men's right activist. I can understand and empathize with what Vrindaji has said, but I believe reality can be a bit more nuanced. For example, the companies may have a concern about how many days of leave. That's a very genuine concern. The productivity hours that they are going to lose can be a very genuine concern. As you mentioned earlier, is somebody telling it right, or are they I would not use the word faking it, but are they misrepresenting it can be a question. So there are a lot of genuine questions, but as everyone knows, this is a health reality. I wouldn't even call it a challenge, a health reality, something that nature has done. So somewhere you have to strike a balance, and also it can add to the private companies, especially as we know, government sector is moving back from many of the job giving opportunities. Many of the companies may have their own inhibitions, whether they are getting enough productive hours, and a lot of such questions are also there. So the reality is a bit more nuanced. I hope court has to strike a balance somewhere. That's the reason why this has to be dealt in a slow manner. I don't think Supreme Court has erred in it, but Supreme Court always chose a path of caution, that they have to move ahead in a very cautious way. States like Kerala, my own state, has been thinking about it and has put forward some women-friendly laws and women-friendly approaches. Nobody is against it, but it has to be a much more nuanced debate rather than mere name-calling or saying that you are all retrograde or you are all anti-progressive, you are all anti-woman. It's a much more nuanced debate that needs deliberation to a larger extent and a larger sort of consensus building, and I believe it starts with awareness and sensitization. It starts with social awareness and social sensitization, where there is a social strength of awareness that really creates the milieu before any kind of policy and perspective, especially a legal perspective and a paradigm comes to it.
Can I ask you on whether men understand the severity of menstrual pain?
To be honest, a huge percentage of men, including me, should be educated and should be sensitized more. Let me put it that way. We should be educated because that's not a natural phenomenon to us. Yes, we have heard from our sisters. We have heard from our, from our friends in schools and colleges. Yes, we have heard about it. We heard that they are having their own physical challenges. They say there is pain. Yes, we understand, but there needs to be a much more open talk because this is a very shy topic and a taboo topic in Indian society. Correct. That even the women will have toughness to speak and men will have some kind of toughness to hear. So there should be, it's a very natural process, nature's process that we should be made aware of, so that social circumstance creation is extremely important before we use the strong and long arm of law to enforce it.
Kiranpreet, the operational challenges here, from an employer's perspective, where do you think will be concerns that would be raised, in terms of the cost to the company when you're paying the employee, you're giving them an extra leave? How would companies approach this? This is exactly what the court is saying, that companies then will avoid hiring women altogether. Already women face that stigma that women can't work night shifts, so therefore let's avoid hiring a woman, we'll hire a man. Now you have another one more reason to why an employer might want to turn it down, because if they are paying the employee, man or woman, they want the most of that, to extract the most of it. Yeah.
Absolutely. Navina, at the moment, I think most of the organizations are looking forward to policies which are gender specific, more sensitive, creating a workplace where everybody feels welcomed, peaceful, and are able to stay more productive. Therefore, and then the law is also very state to state. Not all states, offer similar kind of leaves. So I don't see much of a challenge here if the employers want. For example, Karnataka, issued it, and a lot of organizations were ready to implement it immediately. So there's no specific challenge per se where the organizations may suffer. Yes, opportunity cost will be a price that the employer will be, paying. But I think that is the need of the hour. We want more women workforce to be part of this, industry where the gender equality actually exists, not just merely, in philosophies, but in actual numbers. So I don't see a lot of challenge here. Monetarily, yes, a pinch, but that pinch will be good for organizations to take.
Brinda?
Yes, this year's theme for Women's Day, Women's Year is Give to Gain. And what you're giving is not charity. What companies are giving are not charity. It is enhancing quality. And at the end of the day, you want to ask yourself, should it be profit and convenience over quality? Because that's exactly what we are talking about. You want to ignore more than half the population.
But when you say profit and convenience over quality, would you mean that one day's menstrual leave would really ease the pain? Because pain goes on for 2-3 days sometimes, most times. As you grow older, it gets worse.
But we know that pain gets aggravated simply because of that one day which could have been a rest day. Yeah? That rest would probably make you better the next 2 days, 3 days. Some people get this pain and cramps on the first day. Some people get it on the second day. And this mistrust is absolutely unacceptable, because somewhere righteous men think that any law that comes talking about women and enhancing their opportunities to accomplish something, I will mistrust them. Dowry laws, I will mistrust them. Sexual harassment at the workplace, I will mistrust them. Who the hell are you to mistrust me? So if you are not willing to give my constitutional guarantees, I'm not asking you any equality. That is not charity. That is my sovereign constitutional guarantee. Equity, give to gain, so that not only this individual citizen woman will do the best and give her best, but her family will be better, her community, and so my nation. At the end of the day, that's what nation building is all about. You cannot profiteer over my pain.
Rahul?
That's one submission. Why do people mistrust? Because the laws have been misused to such an extent where Supreme Court had to say that things like 498A should not descend into legal terrorism. And this was a word Honorable Supreme Court used. Many rape laws are misused. Many such female-centric professions are hugely misused. And men are also at the receiving end because of fake complaints. A lot of things that we have seen. That's the reason why Supreme Court went on record to say that.
Misuse can't be a woman problem. You can misuse anything. You can misuse any industry has people misusing the laws.
That's the reason why checks and balances needs to be there. That's the reason why Supreme Court once went on record to say. Remember, Honorable Supreme Court went on record to say we have given them shields, but they are using it as swords. We have given women.
Who are you to give me a shield? That has already been given to me by the Constitution. It is
but you don't have a right to use it as a sword.
Sure that you
don't have a right to use it
holes
as
in
a
my
sword,
sheet.
But is it fair, Rahul, for few cases of misuse, you blanket the entire women population saying, no, you don't deserve it because you can misuse it?
How do you count the numbers? For example, there was a report quoted by BBC, one of the most credible organizations, that nearly 53% of the rape laws or the rape cases are found to be false or not trustworthy. There are many studies this way and that way, and we all know that there are a lot of fake POCSO cases. There are a lot of cases which are
I
misused.
don't know about BBC. I will only tell you about India. In India,
BBC was quoting about Indian situation.
That out of 100 cases of rape that come to court, 58 are acquitted, 3 are punished, the remaining are dismissed because of my system and its mechanism and the functionaries over there.
What about that?
Cases, ma'am? What about false
blame it
cases?
on women.
Not even
Sorry.
recorded.
Yeah, a lot of
Don't
cases
blame
are not
on women.
recorded. A lot of cases
What
the
about
men are
false
acquitted.
cases? What about false cases?
No, we're not denying
No,
that there are false
there
cases,
is-
but because
there
of a
is
few false cases.
1.5% of false cases. You are going to hold that as the jhanda and say 99. Now go to hell.
So,
My law
how did you
says
come to the
even
figure of
one,
99
even-
versus 1, ma'am, which is the reference point?
Yeah. So you want to now say in my country, I will take
Where is
care
the
of
data
this
point
one,
saying that it
the
is 99
99 can
1?
die. So sorry. I don't want to have this
Where is the-
patriarchal,
where is the
sexist,
statistics for
misogynistic
99,
conversation.
ma'am?
Let us go by statistics. Let
Yes.
us go by
Let's go
what
by
you and I
statistics.
see on a
Let's
daily
go by
basis.
statistics. What is the percentage of conviction rate
Every
in
day,
cases?
every
498
8 minutes,
false
there
rape
is a
cases.
rape in my country. NCRB data.
Yes.
You want to pull down NCRB?
Yeah, no, I want to
that
uphold
too?
NCRB data. What is the conviction rate?
Yeah, you ask your courts. You ask
What
your
is the
police,
conviction rate?
your
And
prosecution.
what about those false cases where people have lost years and years of their life due to false cases? Even recently,
See,
Supreme Court flagged some of the cases.
every life is important. Every human being, every citizen is important. But if you hold 4.5 cases and say, listen, this is very important, so let the rest of them go to hell. No.
Nobody is saying
You
that.
want
That's
to
the reason
address
why
the
we are asking
system
for a
and its
balance.
mechanisms. Sorry, this order passed by the Chief Justice and the court over there is retrograde, sexist, misogynistic, patriarchal, and
These are name
is
callings, ma'am.
violation
These are
of
merely
Article
name callings, and
21
that
of the
won't get our
Constitution,
society
which the
anywhere.
same court upheld, saying right to menstrual health is my right as life to dignity. Simple. If the same court, so
But that cannot be at
learned
the cost
people
of another
want
person,
to
right?
shed it, I want to question them because
That
I
cannot
am
be
a
at the cost
citizen
of
of this
somebody else.
nation.
That cannot be at the cost of somebody else. You have to strike a balance.
Brinda, can I ask you if at all there is an extended sick leave? Of course, not really terming it menstrual leave. Would you be okay with it, or do you insist for it to be called a menstrual leave?
It is menstrual leave and menstrual leave alone, because when I'm sick, if you call it sick leave, there are other clauses that come under the labor laws. I have to bring you medical certificate. And I'm not acceptable to that. It's menstrual leave. You want me to now bring a certificate to show you I'm menstruating? What is this? If you do not trust half the population,
What if they make it
of my
flexible?
country,
What if they make
you
it
are
flexible
acceptable with
sick
my
leave?
taxes and my vote, but you will not trust me.
What if they make
why
those
can't,
sick
why can't you
leaves
take a paid
flexible
leave? I mean,
for
why
women?
can't you go and leave the salary? Why can't you take a leave by yourself?
Why should I
Because
take a
But you
women
want to
salary?
get the salary
Why
from that
should-
day.
That is
why should I
unfair,
not take
isn't
a
it?
salary?
That
Why
is
should I not
unfair.
take?
Losing equality.
Salary is for working
Taking
this
a
number of
salary
days,
cut.
right? Salary is for working this many number of days, right?
How many people
Salary
give
is
a
for
salary
working
to
that
this
particular
woman
number of
carrying a
days.
baby
So
for
if you
10
are
months?
taking a leave, you should
Give
be ready to
salary.
forgo off that day's salary.
You give salary to the woman carrying the baby for 10 months and delivering the baby, suffering through cesarean and everything. You give salary. You have glorified.
Ma'am, how can it be the
and
employer's
glamorized
responsibility?
That poor thing
Suppose if
can't
I am
even
running
open
a
our
company,
mouth
how
and
can
talk.
it be my responsibility?
Oh, Mr. Ishwar, don't go so far. Don't go, because when we
Employer's
women want to
responsibility
question you,
to
how many
ensure
of
there is
how many
equality.
men are paying their women, their wives, saying, carry my baby for 10 months?
Okay, Kiranpreet wants to make a point.
I think it is the employee's responsibility to ensure equality at workplace for both the genders. So, Ishwar, I don't understand the point why employer will be uncomfortable giving a paid leave. Why do you want the employee to suffer? And where you
It's
see
at the
equality,
cost of
the women have
cost.
to
No,
take the
Kiran
cut.
Preet, the crux is that employer will be uncomfortable to pay extra buck for no service. That any employer, male or female, even if it is a female employer, she would be wondering, to pay that extra day without any output. It'll pinch your pocket. So I understand where the employer comes from, but do you believe a law will set things right, because then there's no looking back?
Absolutely. And Nabila, think of it. The women is going to be more productive. What will you do calling the women at workplace, who's unhealthy, who's not going to barely, move anything at the workplace? You let that woman take some rest and then come back, mentally more sorted, is able to, give a better productive day. I disagree with the Ishwar stating that why employer, is responsible for the menstrual. Of course, the employer is responsible for the mental health state of a woman as well as men. Men don't go through that. It's a biological need of the women, and therefore, employer has to do it. Maternity is one classic example. Employer has to take that pinch as well. So I don't see this to be such a hard thing for any employer to go through.
As much
because
as
they gave maternity leave.
Kiran Preet,
No company has suffered loss because they gave maternity leave.
Okay,
Exactly.
Kiran Preet, my question to you is, companies on ensuring equality, I think that will come only if there's a law in place. But are you also insisting that it must be called menstrual leave and not just sick leave? And what if the rules are flexible? What if they say you don't need to provide a certificate, but for women, we'll give you one extra sick leave? But it won't be captioned as menstrual leave, it will be captioned as sick leave.
Yes, absolutely. Why
You're
not?
fine
We
by
give
that.
bereavement, we give birthday leaves. Why can't we give menstrual leave?
Yes.
What is the shame in saying that? It's
Exactly.
something natural, and every woman goes through that.
Yes. What is this taboo talking about menstruation? What is this taboo? Why are we reiterating this taboo 78 years down the line after independence? We are happy to go to the dark side of the moon, but continue to live in dark ages down on earth?
Stereotyping would actually be when we are just saying this doesn't exist, just like all the years we've been trying to do. That's setting the stereotype. Let's do some change now.
Do you believe that Rahul is a product of someone who's unaware of the gravity of the pain? Sorry, Rahul, I'm talking in third person here.
I will not even talk about
referencing you
education.
as third person. But
There is no openness to understand. Yes, I have seen. Yes, I have done that. Why don't you understand? Girls used to stay back at home or drop out of school simply because of menstruation. Today we have gone forward progressively to say sanitary pads are given in school, there is running water in school. So our education and our children are going out 6th standard, 7th standard and 10th standard. Now we have reached a phase and India is a progressive country. There's nothing stopping my country to say, we are happy to give you your menstruation leave, which we guaranteed 1950. Sorry, thank you. We are only giving it to you now. If companies say that they are going under a loss, maybe the company should just shut down and go. We will still survive.
It's right. I'm sorry, but I'd like to just add one point. It's funny. It's like of that era when, there were only one washroom. And when women used to get admitted into colleges, they used to suffer. And universities used to feel that that's an additional cost. But in the end, we had to take that to ensure women feel welcomed. And it's just giving them dignity, to be able to sustain the day duly, respectfully. And it's just similar to this leave as well. It's a natural process. Of course, they need it. Yes, Ishwar, women need an extra day to rest because unfortunately, biologically, we go through something that men don't.
But I would
And
humbly
remember,
submit
this is a
the tone and
same
tenor of
quote
the
that
debate
said
should
this
be
is
more
your fundamental
inclusive, and it
right.
should never go to an extent where you say we don't mind if the company shuts and go, because if the company shuts and go, there will be nobody to give you either leave, salary or paid leave.
Don't worry
So
about
it
that.
should-
Don't
it
worry.
should not be.
Don't worry.
Who will give you a job,
Companies
ma'am?
can go. No company
Why
or
would the
office or
company
agency
stop
should
me?
profit here on my pain.
This is the female chauvinistic attitude Indian society is always afraid of.
Oh, stop it. There is
Nobody
no female chauvinism. There's only
encourages
male
male
chauvinism.
what about all over the world? You have
Right
multiple
to
countries.
life
I
with
literally
dignity.
read it out. You have
Right
to
Japan,
life with
countries like
dignity
Japan
is
that have
my
already announced
fundamental
menstrual
right.
leave.
No, my only
Right
submission
to
is
life
when you
with
go to the
dignity.
other extent of being chauvinist, that also creates
Oh,
problem
stop
and
your
social resistance.
chauvinism.
How is
Come on,
it? How
Ishwar.
is it being chauvinist
Stop
asking for
it. There is no
menstrual leave?
chauvinism
No,
here.
no. You
Fundamental
misread.
right.
Come in, ma'am. I said when you are saying that if companies can go to hell if they don't give us is a very chauvinistic attitude. You have to strike a balance. You have to create sensitivity
No.
and
You are a
some kind of
capitalist now
understanding.
telling me
But
I
rather
will
saying that
profiteer
those
on your
companies who are
pain.
not ready to give
Can
live
you
can shut and
profiteer
go
on
will
my
be a very
pain?
bad attitude, and that would not be
Can you
entrepreneurial. That would
profiteer
not be
on
doing
my
ease of
pain,
business.
All right.
That
violating
would
my
not be
fundamental
pro-private
rights?
sector.
All right. I
Can
don't
you
think
profiteer
I
on my
don't
like
pain,
another
violating
sick leave
fundamental
in the name
rights?
menstrual leave.
No,
That's
my,
it.
my very logical question finally,
Like
as
an
I'm short
extra.
on time, Kiran Preet, if you can answer me this. Don't you think it'll be a lopsided approach when hiring? HR will go for more men and less women? Because if
No.
it is equal work, I mean, that would be a natural response then. How would the HR, how would the company want to strike a balance here? Because even if they have to go, right now already we see more number of men and less women in most workplaces in India. Now with this, then you'll have, that ratio increase. More number of men will be hired, fewer women will be. Because imagine,
I disagree.
yeah,
I disagree because
we
there are
don't even
certain
know how
roles
many
where
women will go
are.
on leave at once. You know,
We're just talking about 12 leaves, Nabila. I don't see that to be a big hit. You think of it just like an extra sick leave. And the good part is that it lapses. Not necessarily the women takes it every month. Not necessarily. And in the end, we are not paying them anything. It's not getting accumulated just like the other leaves, right? So I think it's just bases the need. You're giving them accessibility, just like giving a bereavement leave. Think of organizations which are giving all of these. I'm sure that, then they are going through huge losses and then they should hire none. Both the genders end up taking these birthday leaves and bereavement leaves. So I don't see a lot of challenge on the hiring front per se because we hire basis competency. And these are the basket of benefits that we end up giving employees.
no, but
when
it's
we want
not
to
like we
hire
don't
good
see
people.
those stigmas already in workplaces. Now, a lot of employers don't hire because they have to give menstrual leave. Women can't work night shifts. So there is that stigma attached. And we've got to acknowledge and accept it that there is a challenge that women already face.
But
I
that's
think
why,
there are
Nabila, the government
industries
says you must
where
appoint a certain number of women. And
You're
that's
say-
why companies are appointing and taking in a certain number of women. Today we are seeing more and more
as we
companies
end
saying
here, Brinda,
10%,
I'd like to ask
15%.
you, Brinda and Kiran Preet, I'd like to ask you as we end, what are the benefits of hiring a woman? Let's have all of this discussion that we've already had now. For the employer and for those who hire women, what are the benefits of hiring a woman as opposed to a man?
I think
you
depends
go
on the
first.
competencies they come up with. Women are multitasker. They're always faster, smarter. You've seen the women cricket team as well doing wonderfully. So I think in all the occupations across industries, competency-based hiring, prevails, and therefore hiring of women who fills the competencies as well, I think is always a booster for any organization to grow faster.
Brinda?
And please remember, women are more lateral thinkers. Women work better with trying to learn and understand how do women multitask and how we can teach men. Of course, it's not going to be a great profitable research, but they let them continue to research. But keep in mind, if you want a nation to progress, you want women to accomplish.
Yeah.
Otherwise, we wouldn't have the world over saying, give to gain. You want to gain, you have to give. What you're giving is not charity. What you're giving is saying, if you teach this woman, you teach an entire family.
Yeah.
And that is exactly what we are talking about. You give this woman, you give a family some kind of a respite, but you're growing and developing and making a better quality of community and nation. That is what nation building is all about.
Brinda, I know I'm short on time. My director is warning me that we're running out of time. But I have a question. I have great equations with my employers, and there's no time at any given point in time I say that I'm not up to it. I want to take an off. They usually do not refuse. But that's my story. I know a lot of women who get granted that leave, and men are also sensitive. But it's not official. That does not cut it.
Yeah, so much we are talking, Nabila. Remember, the informal, unorganized sector cannot even argue on these things. So let's not grudge any woman that one day in a month menstrual leave.
Yeah.
Don't grudge it. It's
All
a
right,
small
that's
percentage.
it. Thank you. I really appreciate all of you, Rahul, Kiranpreet, and Brinda. Lovely to chat with all of you on this. A quick break. We'll be right back on the other side on the LPG shortage. Is it real? Is it imagined? We're going to take you through some ground reports. Stay with us.
नितेश श्रीवास्तव जी सिर्फ 35 साल की उम्र में अचानक एक बीमारी से चले गए। उनकी टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस के पैसे बच्चों की पढ़ाई और घर खर्च में काम आ सकते हैं। पॉलिसी बाजार ने क्लेम के वक्त फैमिली का पूरा साथ दिया। पॉलिसी बाजार पे 2 करोड़ का टर्म लाइफ इंश्योरेंस सिर्फ 700 रुपए महीने से शुरू।
हमें स्वस्थ रखने वाली सारी चीजें ज्यादातर शुद्ध होनी चाहिए। सूर्य की किरणें और स्वच्छ पानी, वैसा ही है लाइन अरेबियन डेट्स। और अब लाइन लाइना डेट्स, इसमें फाइबर्स और विटामिन भी कुदरती हैं, जो देता है स्वास्थ्य भी कुदरती।
लायन लाइना प्रीमियम डेट्स।
इस खेल में खेला होगा, हर नहले पे दहला होगा। ये बड़ा है, स्टेज बड़ा है, पूरा भारत साथ खड़ा है। साथ खड़ा है। गेम बड़ा है। Dribble like a rap, pass, 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 setting up the trap. Kick it hard in the ball. Chuck, there for the ball. Chuck there for the ball. Chuck there for the ball. Chuck there for the ball.
Right, welcome back. Let me take you through the crisis of LPG and fuel that seems to be worrying people across India, whether it's true, not true. We're going to take you through this report. At least what we see on the ground. Hot food is slowly disappearing from menus across India. Even a cup of tea today is becoming difficult in some places, restaurants. The reason, of course, is the nationwide shortage of cooking gas. Restaurants and homes are cutting down on dishes that use more fuel, trying to stretch the little LPG that they have left. The shortage has one big trigger, though, the war in the Middle East. The Strait of Hormuz, one of the world's busiest energy routes, has slowed down. Ships carrying oil and gas are not really moving normally. That disruption is now hitting India's cooking gas supply. And what began as a kitchen problem is now spilling out on the streets as well. Across India, there is panic. People are fighting for cylinders. Cyber scams are rising. Hoarding is now being exposed. And queues are getting longer by the day. From Delhi to Mumbai, Bengaluru to Nagpur, Lucknow to Bhopal, the story is the same. People are standing in line for hours, some since 3 in the morning. Many still going home without a gas. In Barabanki, a fight literally took place over LPG cylinders, turning into a complete street brawl. That's what you see there. In Dombivli, scammers cheated 2 women, we hear, of 4 lakh rupees using fake LPG update links. And in Bengaluru, it gets worse. In Bengaluru, we hear, out of sheer desperation, people are starting to steal fuel from parked bikes outside homes. In fact, this visual there shows a bunch of men right in the dead of the night coming in, trying to steal fuel from parked bikes in Hennur area. In Hapur, police seized 32 LPG cylinders from a house suspected hoarding during the crisis. That's there. You see that visual where people are trying to buy and hoard, and that's illegal. In Nagpur, queues stretch across entire streets. We saw people waiting in Nagpur for hours, not really knowing whether they will actually indeed get their hands on one. In Delhi as well, no different. Mayur Vihar, residents say that they have been waiting for LPG since 28th of February. Even after booking, they haven't yet got it. In Lucknow, some people broke down in tears after failing to get booking slips. And in Bhopal, Ramadan iftar meals are now being cooked on wood stoves because cylinders are unavailable. And at the same time, the booking system itself is collapsing. LPG apps, the IVRS lines and WhatsApp booking systems are now crashing under massive demand. Distributors say that system was never built to handle such kind of traffic. Meanwhile, people are looking for alternatives. Induction stoves are selling out across India. Demand has jumped 25 times in just 2 days. Many online stores and retail shops have already run out of stock. Restaurants and dhabas are also adapting. Many are switching to wood-fired cooking to survive the shortage. The government, though, says supply is improving. Indian government says the government has now stepped up domestic LPG production by 28% in the last 5 days. Imports have been arranged from the US, Norway, Canada, Algeria and Russia, says the government. Ships are now carrying LPG to India and they've already started arriving at Indian ports. So the government says, be rest assured, it's coming. But the crisis is serious enough. Now the courts have stepped in. The Nagpur bench of the Bombay High Court has asked the government whether LPG exports are being prioritized over domestic supply. This is the allegation. The court has now called the situation serious and sought some answers from the government by 16th of March. So the question remains, if LPG production has indeed increased, if imports are secure, if ships are already arriving, then why are thousands of people in India lining up to get their hands on LPG cylinders? Is this a distribution failure then? Or we're looking at panic buying, making this crisis even worse? Because many homes also have alternatives like induction stoves, electric kettles, ovens, rice cookers. So people can manage, but it seems like panic has struck them to such an extent where they want to stand in line, want to get their hands on additional LPG, which seems to be snowballing this crisis. Let me quickly bring in Chandra Prakash, President, All India LPG Distributors Federation, and Jitendra Narayan, Founder and CEO, KEC Agritech, and a company to do with renewable energy and compressed biogas industry expert. Thanks very much, both of you. Jitendra, your take on this? As alternative options are there, people are still lining up for LPG. Of course, India does not understand cooking without a gas cylinder. Even though our ancient culture has proven how all alternatives like wooden cooking is the most, how do I say, it's the easiest to do, but yet people have moved out of it, going to LPG gas. But today with this crisis, it's very hard for them to go back to it. So where do you see the crisis here? Is there a distribution crunch? Because government says no crunch.
Thanks for making me join on this forum where we can definitely, this is the time where everybody has to look at it. And this situation is always in India, rumors, move faster than the reality. And I feel that the crisis which is happening all across the globe, so we cannot be untouched with this. But rest, government of India is doing their things in prioritizing the LPG demand. And of course, this panic is, creating in the area. You must have seen the COVID lines as well. In COVID also, you must have seen any rumor which is coming from one angle to another. And since now we are at the geopolitical environment where a lot of things are happening at the media level, people are confused whether the people who does not have requirement of cylinder as well, they are also coming back to the agencies and asking for all cylinders. So as you rightly said, these crises are coming. That is one thing, and another, rumors are actually flowing very fast. Because of that, everybody is watching that what is going to happen in next 7 days or 10 days. And there are a lot of things which is coming in the picture as well, that some of the restaurants or probably some of the big consumption of this LPG cylinder, people have already got a notice from the agencies that they have to give a time period for delivery of the cylinders in advance. So these are the few things which is a preservative measures which government has asked the agency to do it. But it is not actually a panic time. People has to understand that we are not actually abundant with all these fossil fuels based or probably the energy which is coming from outside, and we are fully maximum our energy is coming from outside as an import. But on the other hand, government is trying their level best. So now this time is to sit back and understand whether we require that energy or not. Without panic, I think we'll be able to manage by, even the visuals are showing like people are now going on a electric cooking as well. So these can be some alternative, and the precautions is always good. So government of India is trying to push on those, the precautions that can be, before they would like to take. So from my perspective, there are alternative to the these energy requirements. People have to shift to pipeline also, because we are also using at our businesses as well as at home as well. So we are using PNG, and we did not find any problem till now. So I think this is the time to have a reality at the chart, and people has to realize that rumors cannot solve all the problems. Though this is the time where we need to support the government. So from my side, I think this LPG disruption is a panic button for people who are not aware with the supply chain and others. And being in India, I think we are blessed. Like Iran is not targeting India, and because of that, a lot of ships has already arrived at port. So I think this is a time to be cautious, but not as a panic. So it is going to be on the other side as an overreaction from the people who are in and around and dependent on the LPG. So they feel that, and some of the visuals also which is coming, I found that some of the visuals are not correct, and people are just taking the oldest videos and pushing it on the medias or probably different platforms which is available online. So I think people has to sit back and understand.
But at the same time, it's also true that the restaurants are shutting. They have not got supply. So commercial cylinders are a problem. But is there a distribution issue here? Chandra Prakash, would you want to speak on that? Distribution issue seems to be more the problem here than anything else. And in fact, court has also asked the government to respond, saying it's a serious crisis, but you are saying it's all okay. There are reports of exports of LPG amidst this crisis. So where do you think we're going wrong?
Okay, the domestic LPG supply is almost normal from the plants. But the problem was the software. Booking, people were not able to book their refill. Out of panic, they rushed to the showroom and go down. And in many places with the cylinder, empty cylinders, unnecessary because of the panic and some rumors that there is a big shortage. Government has assured, oil companies have assured, we as a distributor, we are assuring our customers. But again, from some fear, people are running to the showrooms and the godowns. Our delivery man, they're supposed to out for the home delivery, but because 100 people, 200 people, 300 people standing outside the godown, they have not even booked the cylinder. There is a procedure. Yesterday, I also told you that there is a procedure after booking. The refill voucher, the invoice prepared, then we sent to the godown to delivery. But without any booking, how we can give the cylinders? And these people are unnecessary creating a chaos.
Sir, but we are seeing visuals on the TV where a woman is crying, she's not able to get a gas. It's a domestic issue only.
Take case, it is an issue. It is an issue if any person standing on the road and if he didn't get the refill. So nature baat hai. I am not denying that. All the visuals are not fake. Some are maybe genuine, and I am telling you, today also I visited many places. In the outskirts of the godown and near the agencies, many people are standing. Those who are not registered customers. In the past, maybe they are procuring LPG through unauthorized channels. They are creating the more problem. And they are going to this YouTuber and the small TV stingers and all that. Otherwise, you can see majority of the customers. I want to share the data of today booking of 2 oil companies. Indian Oil today, in last 2-3 days, there was a software platform for booking. But today, situation improved. Today in IOC, Indian Oil Corporation, till 5 p.m., 35,50,000 people has booked the refill through the system.
Okay.
Delivery done, 16,40,000. around. In Bharat Petroleum, the booking received 22 lakh and 50,000, and they deliver around 60 lakh cylinders home delivery, and somewhere it is from go down. So situation is improving.
Right. So we are going to take that as a last note. The situation is improving, though the government says not to panic. We are seeing panic, and we are urging people then to hold some, have some restraint.
One thing for commercial customer, now the 3 EDs of oil companies and state government, they are discussing how we can give commercial cylinders to the prioritized customers. And today also they have a meeting, and in a coming days they will also supply a partial supply.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to wait for that, sir. I really appreciate both of you for joining us on that.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, let's quickly cut across to all our top stories on day to night. As the repercussion of this West Asia war, we are seeing fallout in airfares in India. Caution for flyers and trip planners. Airfares from India are all set to rise as airlines introduce fuel surcharges amid escalating tensions in the Middle East that have pushed aviation fuel prices sharply higher, and it seems like the burden now will fall on passengers. India's leading carriers, Air India and Indigo, say that the move has become necessary now as aviation turbine fuel, the ATF, which makes up nearly 40% of the airline operating costs, has surged in price due to supply disruptions linked to the regional crisis. So Air India will roll out the surcharge in phases, starting with 399 rupees on domestic and SAARC routes, about 830 rupees for Middle East flights, this is extra charge, and about 5,000 rupees for Southeast Asia, and 7,500 rupees for Africa, and 10,400 rupees for Europe, and roughly 16,000 rupees for North America and Australia. So this is an additional surcharge over your tickets. Meanwhile, Indigo will introduce its fuel charge from March 14th. In fact, it adds 425 rupees on domestic routes. It adds 900 rupees for Middle Eastern routes, 1,800 rupees for Southeast Asia and Africa, and 2,300 rupees for Europe. The airlines say that the charges apply only to new bookings and are aimed at absorbing part of the sudden spike in fuel costs while avoiding flight cancellations or steep fare hikes across networks. So be warned that you will have to pay a little extra for your flight tickets going forward. All right, let's take you through all the resort politics happening in across states, but Karnataka, as DK Shivkumar seems to be handling it. Resort politics has made a high-profile comeback in Karnataka as Deputy Chief Minister DK Shivkumar once again takes on his familiar role as the Congress party's primary troubleshooter. In fact, late on Thursday night, at least 8 Congress MLAs from Odisha, including Chief Whip CS Razen Ekka, were flown into Bengaluru, whisked away to a private luxury resort in Bidadi region of Ramnagara. The move comes amid intense fears of poaching and cross-voting ahead of the crucial Rajya Sabha elections that's scheduled for March 16th. While DK Shivkumar initially played down the move, claiming that he did not personally invite them, he later admitted that he would meet the legislatures to ensure the Now, the decision to shift the Odisha flock to Bengaluru follows a direct request from the Odisha Pradesh Congress Committee, with the BJP reportedly eyeing a 4th Rajya Sabha seat in Odisha. The Congress is now taking no chances. The MLAs, many of whom arrived with their families, have been accommodated at the Wonderla Resort in Bidadi, a stronghold where DK Shivkumar's political influence is absolute, Ramnagara. This is the same region where DK Shivkumar famously sheltered Gujarat MLAs in 2017, the Congress MLAs, and Maharashtra legislators in 2019. Despite the vacation setting, a strict 3-line whip has been issued, and the MLAs are expected to be under constant party surveillance until they are flown back to Bhubaneswar on Sunday evening. While addressing the reporters outside the Vidhan Sauda, DK Shivkumar struck a defiant tone, dismissing the term resort politics as media creation only. He said that he has been doing this since the Vilas Rao Deshmukh government, adding that it is his duty to take care of his colleagues and his party members when they are unsafe in their home states. He clarified there that the MLAs are simply observing Bengaluru and Mysore during the legislative break, that they've just come for a holiday. However, the optics of hosting out-of-state legislatures during a busy budget session have drawn sharp criticism from the opposition BJP, but accused the Congress of turning Karnataka into a holding cell for political hostages. The Political math in Odisha has become increasingly volatile with the entry of BJP-backed independent candidate Dilip Ray, while the Congress BJD combine technically has the numbers to secure a joint second seat for candidate Datteshwar Hota. Memories of the 2022 cross-voting incident where a dozen legislators broke ranks continue to haunt the leadership. The BJD has also taken precautions with former CM Naveen Patnaik ordering his MLAs to remain in Bhubaneswar for mandatory daily briefings. Now, as the Resort Express settles in Bidadi, the next 48 hours will be very crucial. It will be a test for DK Shivkumar's brand of high-stakes hospitality. Let's see what happens. A major political reset underway in Tamil Nadu. VK Sasikala, the close aide of late Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha, officially has announced her new political party, titled the All India Purachi Talaivar Makkal Munetra Karagam, the AIPT-MMK. Speaking to a sea of supporters at her Poise Garden residence, the 71-year-old leader also unveiled the party's symbol, Tuppu, which is a coconut grove. In fact, Sasikala stated that the grove represents unity and a joint family, emphasizing that her party will serve as the true successor of the legacy of MG Ramachandran and J. Jayalalitha following failed attempts to reclaim control of the AIDMK. She was in fact sent out of AIDMK. The timing of the announcement is crucial as the state prepares for 2026 assembly elections. Although Sasikala herself is legally barred from contesting until 2027 due to her prior conviction, she confirms that her new party now will field candidates across both Tamil Nadu and Puducherry. The party flag, featuring black, white and red stripes with the portraits of Anna, MGR and Amma, was first revealed last month on Jayalalitha's birth anniversary. Political analysts suggest that Sasikala's entry will significantly complicate the electoral math for the AIDMK as she looks to consolidate the Amma loyalist vote bank and challenge the leadership of Edapadi K. Palaniswamy. Beyond the party launch, rumours of a strategic third front now intensifying. Reliable sources indicate that high-level talks are currently underway between Sasikala and PMK founder S. Ramados, while faction recently split from the main party. In fact, the potential alliance is reportedly eyeing a broader coalition that could include actor Vijay's Tamilaga Vetri Karagam, the TVK. So we're going to see it's a good mix now. You're another party in the fray. So what really happens to the DMK? TVK has remained tight-lipped. Local leaders hint that the mega alliance of regional forces independent of both the DMK and the AIDMK could emerge as the decisive X factor in the upcoming polls. So will TVK ally with Sasikala if she gets anything? Well, we've got to see. But this is certainly positioning now right ahead of Tamil Nadu elections. The war, 15 days on, and it's only escalating in the Middle East. In fact, the IRGC, Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, has claimed a major psychological and military victory. In a statement released earlier today, the IRGC Navy asserted that its ballistic missiles and drones successfully struck the USS Abraham Lincoln aircraft carrier in the Sea of Oman. According to Iranian state media Press TV, IRGC claims the nuclear-powered vessel sustained significant damage and was forced to retreat from regional waters at high speed. IRGC has characterized the precision operation as a direct response to the ongoing US-led campaign against Iranian infrastructure. Washington, however, has flatly denied Iranian claims. US Central Command, the CENTCOM, released a statement today asserting that the USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike, the group remains fully operational, continues to support Operation Epic Fury. While denying a direct hit, US officials confirmed to CBS News that a serious maritime encounter did occur. According to the report, an Iranian vessel approached the carrier strike group too closely, prompting a US destroyer to fire its Mark 45 naval gun. When the initial shots missed, a US helicopter launched 2 Hellfire missiles, successfully striking and neutralizing the Iranian vessel. In fact, the Pentagon dismissed the IRGC's claims of damage as purely propaganda. In a separate incident in the Red Sea, the USS Gerald Ford, the world's most advanced aircraft carrier, suffered a fire on board Thursday. The US military confirmed that the blaze broke out in the ship's main laundry area and was not combat related. While the fire was quickly contained, 2 American sailors sustained non-life-threatening injuries and are currently in stable condition. CENTCOM has emphasized that there was no damage to the ship's propulsion plant or combat systems and the carrier remains on station. Well, the naval tension comes as the joint US-Israeli air campaign dubbed Operation Epic Fury intensifies. Reports from Tehran today indicate the fresh waves of airstrikes have targeted IRGC command and control centers in Ahvaz and weapons storage facilities in Shiraz. Oil prices remaining at record high and the Strait of Hormuz effectively a war zone now. Humanitarian toll is mounting. In Geneva, WHO warned that black rain, soot-filled toxic precipitation from burning oil refineries is now falling across Iranian capital, posing serious respiratory threat to millions of them in Iran. Now, a quick look at the massive humanitarian exit that's underway, largely from the Gulf countries. A massive humanitarian exit that's underway, Gulf countries where people are now moving out of, coming to safer zones. Commercial airlines have begun adding emergency capacity to Dubai, Kuwait and Doha to accommodate thousands of expatriates and students looking to return home. The surge in departures follows a week of direct missile and drone strikes on regional energy infrastructure. While major airports remain operational, the anxiety of the unknown is driving many families to leave before the airspace becomes further restricted. In a major breakthrough for stranded Indian citizens, the first batch of medical students has successfully crossed the border from Iran into America. The students who were trapped in cities like Tehran and Shiraz managed to reach the Nordus Agarak border crossing after an arduous journey through the mountainous north. Many recounted harrowing scenes of the black rain and the sound of constant air sirens as well. However, the relief is tempered by the fact that hundreds of other students remain stranded in southern Iran, where the escalating tanker war near the Strait of Hormuz has cut off traditional evacuation routes. The sense of dread among the Indian diaspora there has found a prominent voice. Bollywood actor Lara Datta, who has deep family ties to the region, spoke today about the mounting anxiety among millions of Indians living in the Gulf. In a social media address, she's urged the Indian Ministry of External Affairs to expand Operation Samudra Setu to include civil aviation charters from smaller Gulf hubs. She's highlighted that many blue-collar workers are hesitant to leave their jobs because of security fears, even as the security situation around major refineries continue to deteriorate. Well, despite the push for evacuations, the process has hit significant roadblocks. Panic broke out at several regional hubs today as flights from Armenia and Azerbaijan to Delhi and Mumbai were abruptly cancelled due to operational risks in the transit corridors. Indian Embassy has advised citizens not to move towards the border points without confirmed onward travel, as local accommodations in border towns are reaching a breaking point. As the war enters its third week now, the window for a safe and orderly exit from the Gulf appears to be narrowing by the hour. Thanks very much for tuning in. Have a great night.
I fight till the very last point. I know, but he's better than me. He's going to beat me, but I'm going to give it my best. I don't give up.
But are you an extremist?
I am.
No gray, either black or white. You have gone for impact, not immediacy. And you have fostered legacy, not volume.
For so many years, I think